Hello everyone, it's Annette Green. Welcome back. I am working in my weekly Elizabeth Craft Designs Vintage Black Planner, my weekly 2023. I've been working on this all year, one page per week. So if you are new, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. Each week I do a little something and show a little technique or share something about my life throughout the years. So I thank you if you've been joining me all along. We've been having a lot of fun. If you were here last week, you saw my husband Paul took over and, well, we kind of worked together, but he did this page kind of by himself and we had a great time and the comments were awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was super fun. I'm very glad you guys enjoyed it. I have to say it was probably the most comments I've ever gotten on a video. So that was great. Thank you. So we're going to start here and I have my pages all pre-cut, so I never really know are they going to work or not. So let's take a look at that. This is the page that I had in here, but I'm not super happy with it, especially knowing that I have a little bit of a plan in mind. So I am going to switch it out for this one back here, and that's fine. That is my prerogative. You may do whatever you like, but I'm going to grab that one and just put it here, and I'm just going to stick this one back here for now. I can always change that later. I like this because this week is going to be all about me getting new Apple products. I got the new Series 9 watch. I got the new 15 phone. I'm a huge Apple fan. You know, I've probably got it all. I've got the MacBook Air. I've got the iPad Air over here. I've got the AirPods. You know, I love it. I love technology, and that is the theme for this page. So we'll isolate this page, and I'll tell you what I was thinking. Because it is just the phone and the watch and as far as my photos, and this is the page, I thought that I would kind of do something to the background because it's pretty plain, and I wanted it to be because I wanted to do like a stencil. Okay, I've done stencils before on pages and you probably cannot see this at all, but these are little apples like the Apple logo. Okay, so I'm gonna switch over and show you how I did this really quick on my Cricut, and then we'll come back. And if you want to see how I came up with this, I just went onto my Cricut Design Space software. I was looking at the Apple logo on my bag here just to try to find, I didn't have any free ones, so I was trying to find an image that had that same kind of apple shape, and I found something very similar, like right here, although that one's not the one I picked because hers was only like 99 cents. This one here, this is the one I picked, so you can see the seller name right there, San Naz, if you wanted to do this. But it was only 99 cents and I made my own out of it. Now, I'm not going to give you a big old Cricut tutorial here, but I basically used the contour feature to get rid of all those zigzags, and I sliced an oval kind of shape off of the right, and then I took away the stem from the apple that she had. So it looks pretty darn close. So I'm going to make a stencil out of this by repeating this, making it much smaller, repeating this, and then cutting it out of stencil film or just, you know, acetate. Okay, and knowing the size of the planner page, which is like 4 3/4 by 8 1/4, I just repeated a bunch of them to make like a repeating stencil pattern. So I'm going to cut this out and take a look at it. It turned out great once I cut it out on the Cricut. As you can see, I have a few little pieces here I see need to pop out yet of these little leaves, but it fits so that it goes off the edges all around, which you know that I like. I don't like to have things floating within the page. It's always much more interesting. So some of these apples are definitely going to run off, but they will fill the whole page as sort of a background pattern. Okay, so I've got that ready. I just need to decide what ink I want to use, and so I'm looking over here at week 38, which it will face. And I think I'm going to go with something kind of smoky bluish gray like that. As you can see, my photos are printed out, like I said. I'm not going to use these two, even though they're the same as these. As you can see, these are a little more blue, which my phone is not. It is green. It's minty kind of green color. And I just have two different sizes because I wasn't sure if this was going to be too small. So I printed a little bigger one. And then of course the watch I did 2 different sizes as well. And if you're curious to know what kind of printer I use, there it is right there. and I use HP glossy photo paper and Photoshop Elements. I will link to the video that shows how I, you know, pull all my photos onto a page like this in Photoshop Elements, how I print them out, all that good stuff. Okay, so knowing that those are my photos, I do have this minty bluish green color, and then I have that smoky blue color. So that's where I'm going to start as far as deciding what this is going to be. And I do have some other ideas. I've got this little header die that I'm going to put up here. I have already cut out the words I love in black. This is from my Everyday Elements Everyday Words 1 set last spring, this spring of 2023. I do have an Everyday Words set 2 that just came out. I have my 38 from the Stitched Letters and Numbers, and of course I'll link everything below, but I've got that sitting there, just the die, till I decide what color. And then I had this idea of saying I love technology. Okay, so I grabbed the 1986 alphabet tab set, and I got smart a while ago, like a month ago, and I bought a second set because I love the alphabet. I love the size in this one. I'm not going to use the whole tab at all, just the inside letters, and that's what you see here. So I've spelled out technology, and because I have 2 sets, I can really be very efficient with all those O's and L's and such that repeat. I grabbed a few more dies. One of them is my new layered labels die. That's going to be just for a little bit of journaling about buying the stuff this week from Apple. And of course I'll probably use the stamp set that goes with it. We'll see. And then I grabbed something that I don't think used hardly very much at all. It's been quite a while. Planner Essentials 39, the torn page weekly frame. And I'm just going to use this cute photo frame for the square photo of my hand with the watch on it. And you'll see how cool that is. There's all these little inset kind of pieces that we're going to dress up. Okay, so I think that's everything. Oh, this piece that I showed you for the topper, this is from an older one as well. The number 21 Note Pieces set has a ton of stuff on here. It's one of my favorites as far as versatility and using all the time. One more die that I'm going to use is the Planner Labels number 1658. I don't even know if this is still available. It's pretty old, but do you see the hearts? Those are reinforcements for the holes in the page. And because I love technology, I'm going to use those hearts for this page. So I grabbed ice spruce and weathered wood because I don't know for sure. And I'm just going to test it over here, even though it's not the same color as my page. I just want to see. This looks so blue looking at the cover. And these are not oxides. These are just distress. So let's see how blue is weathered wood. I think that might kind of be ideal. Let's see. It's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. Okay, and then ice spruce, I need to grab a different dauber. I think this gray one I'll use. And just kind of test that out here. Iced spruce, is that the one I just used? Weathered wood I just used. Okay, ice spruce, yeah. How soon we forget. Ooh, that's kind of good too. It's definitely more gray than blue. But I do think it's that one. Okay, so we'll just go for it here on the actual page. Flip that over. And I don't have anything taped down, but maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm going to grab some temporary adhesive, removable adhesive tape, just to kind of hold my page in place so it doesn't shift. And then I'll even do a little back here. You could use some of that tacky stencil glue or tape or whatever that is, but I don't have any, so I'm going to use this. Okay, I think that's good. And weathered wood, here we go. Okay, I just found a little apple that didn't pop out. Are there any more? Oh, there's a stem that, no. that came out. Okay, I guess it was just that one. Didn't even know it. Okay, let's see how this looks. Oh, isn't that fun? You know, that would be fun to do even on an angle to give it a little different look than so, you know, square, but I think that's pretty cute and that's going to look good next to my other page. Okay, cool. Of course, I will save this. I'm going to rub this adhesive off the back later, clean that off, and then put that into my other planner over here. If you've ever seen this before, this is one that I use strictly for like art journaling stuff, which I don't honestly do a ton of, but I do like to have all my stencils in one place, and I also like to test them out and keep them in here so I know what they look like. I have all the stencils in here, and I will just put this through one of the page dies and get those holes in there and trim off any excess, of course, because it's a little bit bigger, and then tuck that in here. Okay, so I have been busy. I cut out that frame, and I'm just kind of laying it over and trying to decide which one of these two is going to work better. There's no need to see a whole bunch of my arm, but I do want to see this really cool band. Like, it's so very cool. It's very speckly. When I was purchasing it, actually it came with the watch. I got to pick it. The person who was checking me out said, oh gosh, that's so cool. It's like an artist that was splattering paint. And I said, oh my gosh, that's perfect for me. So I do think I want to showcase more of the band on this photo instead of cutting out a lot of the band here. So I'm actually going to die cut right through there. And again, this is that frame die, and this is how it looks. And these little pieces, you know, you can pop them back in, of course, or use a different color to pop back in there. But you'll see I'm just going to lay something behind there the same size as the outer frame, rather than, you know, try to fiddle with those pieces going back in there. And so I can lay this die right on here, and it'll be the perfect size. And I'm using my Empress Mini over here just because it's handy and it's small, and I don't have to unhook the mic and go over to the Vagabond. Sometimes the dies don't cut all the way through photos. Let's see how this one did. I mean, it's almost there. And see? I mean, it's almost all the way through. It just needs a little bit of help, which is common. It's not a problem. What I would do in this instance is just grab a mat, grab my craft knife, and help it out. And I'm not even going to use a ruler because I can see it perfectly. I know it's almost cut all the way through. I'm just going to help it along. See, it almost, see, look at it, just about comes out all on its own. Okay, so cool. That's done. That's going to go right in there perfectly. And then I just need to decide on the color that I want around the background. I went ahead and cut out my double label here, and that I will journal on. I think I'm going to use one of the line stamp set and just get some lines on there so I can write nice and straight. So there's that, and then we have my big picture of my phone here. I picked the bigger one because I think that's just going to work better. And as you can see, I took it on like a wood. It was actually our table in the kitchen, and I'm just going to cut really close to the phone so we don't see the wood, and then we'll put a little probably black around this as well, just to go with the whole feel. I cut out the heart reinforcements in black as well. We're going to see how that looks. So it's just these two pictures and a little journaling this time, very simple. I do want to back up about the whole being a technology fan of Apple, and just, you know, kind of emphasize I don't run out every year and buy the latest Apple products. My last phone was a iPhone 11. I usually hang in there a good handful of years until I feel like the device really needs to be updated. but I am a true hardcore Apple fan. Have been for many, many years, ever since my graphic design days. Okay, there's my phone, and there's my watch. And so I just have to kind of get a little bit of a layout plan going here. So I need to take a moment to think. We do have this piece I mentioned before that I want to put I love technology. So I need to decide what color that's going to be as well. Okay, I have decided on this paper here. This is from Elizabeth Craft Designs, of course, the beautiful Brights paper collection. I know I'm zoomed in a little close here, but this is the perfect match with my phone. It has this like houndstooth pattern on the other side of the paper, but this is a really nice match, and it looks good on this grayish blue here. So I think I'm going to put that up toward the top. I feel like I want to put some black behind those dots. We'll see what that looks like. Let's see if we lay that back there. I think I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna love that. That's good. Okay, so I'll layer that back there. Might as well do it now. I'm gonna ink the edges of everything with black soot. Feel like that helps tie everything together with these black accents. So I'm just gonna glue this right onto this spare piece of paper. And I am going to do a little glue on the back of my frame here real quick and get this down on this other piece that I've cut out. And then we can pop our photo right in the middle. I like doing it this way because I can trim it out. I don't have to worry about it being exact. I don't have to worry about getting those pieces popped back into those places. So now I'll just give that a second to dry and then trim that out. I don't want to forget that I have to do my 38 over there. I just looked over there and I saw it. And I need to work that into the plan as well. Okay, that looks good, and we're just gonna glue our photo right into place perfectly. Okay, so the plan is that this will go up top, and I still need to get this on something. And then we have this, and then we have this, and we got to get our 38 on here. Oh, and let's just talk about here the I love technology, because I want to challenge you guys and see who can tell me what that reference is from. The clue is that you would have to sing it to know what I'm talking about. I love technology. Okay, so here we are, and we have them on double-sided adhesive on the other side to make it easy. And I think I've got all the letters. I think. Whoops, this one needs to come out. We'll see. Because there's some repeats, and I may have missed something. Technology. Okay, I did it. Like I said, I'm not going to use the tabs. I'm just going to use the letters. There is that new set that has a lot of letters that I had showed you, but I just grabbed this one because I had two, and it made it super easy to cut a bunch. Okay, so the idea is perhaps, and I will be shocked if any of you get that right, and if you do, I will be so impressed, because it's definitely from something a little more obscure. Technology. Okay, so I have to do a little planning here, because you don't want to just start slapping the letters down. You have to sort of center them. So I'm going to do a little trick, and then I'll share it with you when I get it all ready. Okay, I always try to be very honest with you if I make a mistake and all that, and I did. I felt like I needed to share this with you. So I had the double-sided adhesive behind all these letters, but I forgot to run this through twice, which you really need to do when you're cutting it out, because the double-sided adhesive is so, it adds such amount of thickness that sometimes those letters don't pop out very well, and that's the trouble I was having. I was tearing the letters. So I did die cut them again with no double-sided adhesive. And what I'm doing here, my little trick, and there's probably a number of ways you can do this, but Right now this is the best way with what's within my reach. I have grabbed just some packaging from my double-sided adhesive itself, the sheets, because it's clear, and I can kind of get an idea of where this is going to go. Now I know I want to have the words I love up here. I love technology. And that's really the way he sings it. Yeah, so I think that's going to go there. So what I'll do is get this out of the way. I know I need to keep this nice and low down here in the right corner. And I can use my liquid glue for most of the letters. You know, that bottom half is not going to get any glue, but we'll take care of that. And I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I put some removable adhesive on the front of this packaging just to tack those letters so they would hold while I got them in position, but they'll peel up pretty easily. So we'll put this here, and I'm really not concerned if it's all straight and perfect, but I'm gonna just press those down and give it a second before I go peeling it up, because it's pretty tacky. And then I'll put I love above there. In fact, I'll do that now while I give that a second to dry. Carefully. Gonna just peel this back and kind of holding on to those letters so they don't rip off. Nice. Okay. And I could leave that as is. I am going to get under there with my glue and take a little moment to make sure those are down flat, but that's pretty cute. Okay, that's dry. That's good. I'm happy. Still got my 38 over there. But I grabbed my Misty because I mounted this little dot stamp. Now this is a stamp set from Esther, CS253, the Note Pieces, which goes with the Note Pieces die set. But I'm not going to use them together. I'm just going to stamp my little label here with this little dot grid. And I'm using a really faint ink. This is Pebble Beach it's an archival ink from Ranger. I know it's really, really pale, but it's just enough to get a little pattern in there so this isn't so plain, but also to give me some guidelines to write kind of straight when I do my journaling. So yeah, that's cool. That's what that looks like. And it'll dry just a little bit lighter too, so I'm super happy with that. Okay, I skipped ahead. I did a few things. So I journaled out my little tag here, my layered tag. I think that's going to go down here. I'm kind of liking the way this is falling into place. I put the phone photo onto a black mat. Still trying to decide, do I want to round the corners? I don't know. I think I do. Let's try it. I just want to keep things simple, but I feel like it really needs it. I'm just going to use my crocodile corner rounder punch, and I think that's pretty cool. Alright, how did I have this? Like that? We got to make sure we know it's a phone, so we got to have it sort of overlap, you know, we like the overlap. And this could go down here, right, because we don't need to see my skin. That's not that important. And we have our 38, which I just did in black, and I'm thinking it's going to go right there in that circle on the phone. And it feels a little bit plain, like it needs more stuff, but I don't think I'm going to do too much to it today. You know, one of the ideas that I had was to take like a thin black pen and outline all the apples. I'm not quite sure if I want to do that. It's something I need to think about. Okay, I have stuck everything down. I do feel like it needs a little something, but I'm in that state of not being sure what I want to do. If I want to do the black outlines, if I want to add more stuff. I don't want to junk it up, you know, but I do feel like it needs something else. So I'm going to step away and take a look at it in the morning because it is Saturday. I'm doing this a day early today. Yeah, I feel like it needs something. So I will step away and look at it tomorrow and see what we come up with. Good Sunday morning. Okay, I looked at my page when I got up this morning, and there's a couple of things I want to try. First thing I thought was, since this is a little song, like a little tune, I thought I would add some music notes. So I grabbed my Joy and Mary die set, which has a couple of big music notes here. Also, it's very Christmassy and has joy and Christmas and Mary and some deer, and of course the wonderful layered holly back there, just in case you hadn't seen that yet. But the music notes can be used all year long in any circumstance, so I thought that would be cute on here. But remember yesterday when I said maybe outlining these in black is an idea? But I'm afraid to do it right to the page. So what I did is I took a picture. I did lay the music notes where I think they would go. Took a picture, just printed it out on regular, plain paper, nothing fancy. And that way I can test out my idea and see if I like it. I'm not sure if this is the pen that I'll eventually use or not. We'll see. But I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to see how it looks. Does it add anything? Does it detract from anything? And now that I've done it, I do think I like it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's lay these on here. I really wish we could talk. I really wish I could hear your answers. Truly, because it would help me a lot. That's what was nice about Paul helping me last week, is that he kind of said a few things like, oh no, I think we should do this or that, and he had good ideas. So I don't know, maybe it's just too much. Now I'm leaning back this way. So I'll be curious. Maybe in the comments you could vote, I like the outlines, or no, I like it without the outlines. Just so I know what you've been thinking. All right, I'm going to get these on here, and I'm going to call this done. I'm sorry if you voted for outlines, but this is the one that I'm going to go with. One more thing I'm going to try, because here's how we look. Pretty happy with it. I don't know why, but I just want to do some more. So I grabbed my festive season stamp set. Has this little music note here, the staff. So I grabbed that, and I'm going to test it over here again. Put this on a block or anything. I'm just going to test it out. Oh, I do like that. I hope you guys like that. Kind of like that. Now, is it taking away from all the apple background? Possibly. But I think it's super fun. It really does add some whimsy. All right, we're going to go for it here. Wish me luck. Now, I do think it might be a good idea to put a cushion under here. A little stamp cushion, but it's on the back of a cutting mat. This is the Close to My Heart one that I've had for a long time, which I love. So it has a little bit of a give when you're stamping. And the reason why I'm even using it is because, I've got these layers where this is kind of thick and bumping over that area. So just something to think of. All right, this is always kind of, And this is also why I'm not putting it on a block, because I can really push into certain places by hand. Let's use the other end of this for over here. Let's get a little more. Kind of fun. Okay, well, I went over the little reinforcement, and so that's okay. I'm not worried about it. A little more here. I don't know if I want to come across the photo. I'm afraid that if it's not stays on, is it going to stamp on that glossy photo paper? So I think I'll steer clear. It looked kind of fun on the other one, but a little there, maybe a little down here, and maybe a little here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm happy with that. I added just a little bit more off camera here. Just a little right there, and I extended this one over here. So there we go. Week 38 is done. Super fun, kind of easy, simple, no big deal, but really very fun to put together. So don't forget, let me know if you know what reference or what movie this comes from, that little song, that little ditty. Like I said, I'll be very impressed if you know. All right, thanks for joining me. I will see you next week. Take care.